Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and this is going to be the 4th episode in my Rags to Riches series. If you aren't aware of what this series is, essentially I'm going to be starting with 8 keys pure and trading all the way up to maybe 1 or 2 god tier unusuals, along with a few sort of nice Australian strange festives and other high tier items along the way, just to sort of complete all my sort of loadout goals by the end of this series. And just looking at the feedback from the previous episodes in this series, I can tell you guys are absolutely loving this series. All the positive responses in the comments and the like ratings are just outstanding to me, and it really does motivate me to put out more of these episodes. Honestly, I spend so much time in trade servers now, it's even worse than it was previously, but I really do hope you guys are enjoying this series because it's so fun for me to make, and it's so awesome seeing that you guys seem to be enjoying it in the comments below, and it's just really awesome reading your feedback because it really helps me sort of make these episodes better and improve in both trading aspects and video creation. So again guys, I'd just like to say a huge thank you for all the support shown on these episodes in the Rags to Riches series. And I feel like straight away this is going to be a little disclaimer for you all. This is going to be the longest episode by far. I have so many trades sorted for this series. I've got like 9 minutes of raw trade footage, and that's sort of without me explaining each trade and stuff. So I feel like this is definitely going to be a really long episode for you guys. And judging by just reading the comments on the previous episodes, a lot of you guys just wanted a really long episode. So I was already doing sort of 10-minute, 12-minute episodes, but you guys just wanted something longer of just like just me trading. So that is what I've tried to do this episode, guys. So I really do hope you appreciate that and enjoy it thoroughly. So if you aren't aware of where we sort of left off last episode, we had a Stormy Storm Laparty Phantom and a few keys pure. We had around 30 to 33 keys in value depending on what we price certain items at. The great thing about the Laparty Phantom is that obviously it's a misc and it's really desired by a lot of spy players because they can make a really nice unusual combination. For 25 keys, which is its backpack.tf price, I feel like it's really cheap and you can combo it with a lot of great other cheap spy hats to make a really nice cheap loadout. This is why I actually listed it for 27 keys pure or more in items. Again, I know the sort of frequency that they sell at, and I feel like it shouldn't be too hard getting over that price for the Laparty Phantom. Of course, the pure keys will help in sort of ads for trades and other stuff like that because everyone loves pure, and generally when I see pure in a trade I do just naturally feel more convinced to take it due to the fact I can then buy items I actually want and sort of will help me complete my set with that pure. So from a sort of perspective of someone outside the trading series, pure is definitely so desirable and really does sort of convince me to make trades, and we were looking to be making some decent profit this episode. I really wanted to sort of climb the tiers in this episode, maybe start trading with more unusual miscs, maybe higher tier effects, and that's basically what I did. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I'm just going to cut straight to the trades now, so let's just hop straight into the first trade of the 4th episode in my Rags to Riches series. So after a few days of just sort of chilling, having my Laparty Phantom up on the market, I decided to hop in a trade server and ended up deciding to discuss a trade with this person who owns a TF logo airdog. I've previously owned a Burning Flames airdog, I actually made a showcase of it, and I know from experience they're quite hard to trade due to the fact that it's still a fairly new hat. Obviously it's less desirable than a Stormy Storm misc, however, this airdog is actually priced at 30 keys. The strange sniper he added is specialised kill streak, and it has a few decent parts, and backpack.tf tells me that it's 1.5 keys. The Phantom is priced at 25 keys, and the 2 keys pure I added obviously take it to 27 keys. So just using backpack.tf price, we've already made about 3 to 4 keys profit on this airdog. However, I feel like this airdog is going to be quite hard to sell, but only time will tell. Obviously it is quite a new scout hat, so maybe it might appeal to a certain audience. However, although it's slightly risky accepting this, I feel like we're definitely going to be able to profit from this. So let's go straight into the next trade. So I've just been sat in another trade server for a while, and I came across this person advertising that they were selling their Terawatt Company Man for 34 keys. It is unfortunately duped, but it is an all-class hat, and due to the price on backpack.tf being 34 keys, we're actually getting overpay for an upgrade. It's only about 1 key, but it's still profit at the end of the day, and allows us to be trading with an all-class as opposed to a scout-only hat. This may make it more desirable, but the duped 3rd gen aspect of it may make it a bit harder to trade. However, we got rid of that sniper rifle, which again wasn't overly easy to trade due to the fact a lot of people don't really trade strange parts. However, I feel like this is definitely going to be profitable if I just find the right buyer and wait patiently. So let's just get straight into the next one. I've actually owned this company, man, for quite a while now, and I've come across this person on backpack.tf selling 3 lower tier unusuals along with a fair amount of pure keys and pure refined. Obviously, straight away the mixed aspect of this trade makes it very interesting to me due to the fact pure is way more easy to trade than all items. The unusuals in question are a steaming Capo's Copper for the heavy and a old Snaggletooth with the same effect. These are both priced at around 12 keys. Hopefully the pure included in this trade is more convincing to people I'll be trading with in the future due to the fact I think I'm going to be looking to upgrade for an unusual for now. I feel like trading with lower tiers doesn't really get you as much profit as trading with higher tiers does, as higher tiers are a lot more desirable and people generally want them a lot more due to the fact it's a nicer hat or a nicer effect and there's a higher demand for them. So hopefully I'll be trying to trade for a slightly higher tier effect or hat. I haven't really decided yet, but the pure will definitely be a big helping hand in that. Next up, this trade was probably fairly obvious for most of you guys. I'm just going to be trading all the metal that was added in the previous trade and just buying a key with it. I'm just buying one off scrap.tf for I think it's 20 refined. I think that's a bit high honestly, but I mean there's nothing you can really do about it. All the other sellers want around the same price, so I'm not really going to be complaining, but yeah, that is enough to buy one more pure key, which again hopefully will help us on our road to a higher tier unusual. One thing you've got to keep in mind with unusual trading is that most unusual traders don't really want their backpack getting sort of clogged up with all this refined, reclaimed and scrap metal, and that's why they solidify all their metal into keys. One key essentially saves them 19 spare backpack slots that can be used for more things. You can always sell the keys at any time as well when you need metal. And that's why all unusual traders just deal with keys, because it's so much less hassle than having to sort of store so much refined in your backpack when you can literally just get refined on demand with keys. So my intentions of upgrading are obviously paying off, as I'm purchasing this purple energy Larrikin Robin for the sniper, for the heavy unusual, the sniper unusual, and all of the 10 keys pure that I own. Now, although I'm using the vast majority of my resources, this hat is actually priced at 37 keys. So I'm paying 34 keys in mixed for this. Another great thing about this hat is the fact it's also clean. However, purple energy is quite possibly one of the most popular effects in the game, and the Larrikin Robin is an extremely popular sniper hat that isn't too expensive in comparison to others. It's a really cool looking hat, and I'll show you guys what it looks like in just a second. I've always been a big fan of the Larrikin Robin, so this purple energy one shouldn't really be too hard to sell. Purple energy, again, as I said earlier, is a really popular effect, so I feel like that's going to really help me out when I'm sort of trying to look for profit, and I might even downgrade again back to lower tiers and see if I can flip it for some quick profit as downgrading for sort of more expensive lower tier unusuals. But again, only time will tell. It combos really good with my viewfinder, as you can see. It's just a really nice effect. Purple energy is actually quite good for the price. Like for under 40 keys, this is a really solid hat and effect. Honestly, I have no fears about selling this hat. I feel like this will be able to be traded super easy, and I mean we've already made profit going from backpack.tf price, and I feel like it will be a very comfortable sale, achieving more than backpack.tf price and even more than what we paid for it. Just as I expected, we just got a really cool offer on this Larrikin Robin. This is a Stormy Storm bombing run, which I believe I've actually owned before, a Dead President's Tam O'Shanter along with a bubbling ye oldie Baker Boy. Apart from the oldie Baker Boy being slightly overpriced at 16 keys, this is definitely still a really good trade. Using backpack.tf price, this comes to around 41 keys. Keep in mind we only paid about 34 on this Larrikin Robin, and it's only priced at 37. This is of course including the paint prices on the hats, so it's probably a bit less than 41. However, regardless of all that, we've still definitely made profit. If you find yourself trading around this sort of value, then I would definitely actually recommend downgrading, then upgrading, then downgrading, then upgrading, because it's a really efficient way of making profit. You can always find someone that's willing to overpay for a hat, a higher tier hat, due to the fact that they like the effect or they like the hat a lot, and they're willing to overpay quite a lot. And you could always find sellers for fairly cheap due to the fact they're bored of a hat, or they want to downgrade to get quick and easy pure. It's an endless cycle that really you can make profit on as long as you play both traders effectively. And honestly, looking at the hats in game now, they don't look too bad. I've always been a fan of the oldie Baker Boy just because I think it was Strife actually used to own like a really nice burning one, and back in the day I thought that was a really cool hat. The bombing run was one of the first unusuals I owned in high tier back in the day where I just started trading, so it's always got a soft spot in my heart. They're both really cool hats honestly, and they're both painted of course, and as far as I'm aware they are both clean, along with the Demo Man hat which is also clean. I feel like we're gonna have no issues upgrading these hats because they are all fairly nice hats in their own respect. So as you can see, this person's backpack actually contains nearly 1000 keys pure, and they're selling this bubbling bonk boy for 40 keys. They didn't actually mention the fact that they're quick selling, and as you can see it's actually priced a lot more than 40 keys. The only issue with this is that it's duped. However, I feel like because it's a misc, it's going to be a lot easier to trade than most of the duped hats I've owned in the past. Although bubbling isn't exactly the highest tier of effects, you've got to admit that bonk boy is an extremely high tier misc for the scout of course, and it's actually quite popular among a lot of scout players. I'm going to be trading my 3 unusuals plus the 2 miscs we gained earlier in a 5-to-1 trade. What this essentially means is I've completely cleaned out that page of my backpack, so we only have this bonk boy. I feel like this is a suitable place to end the episode. The bonk boy is a fairly high tier misc for the scout, and bubbling, although it isn't the most noticeable effect, it is still really nice in its own respect. There's a lot of room for profit in this trade, and I feel like if I'm patient enough, then I will be able to get a really good deal on it. However, I want to get this episode of Rags to Riches out for you guys as quick as possible, because I know so many of you are looking forward to it, so I really do hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Rags to Riches, guys. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. It's always really cool reading your opinions or what you thought of the episode, and it really does motivate me to sort of make more. So if you did enjoy, please do remember to leave a like on this video, and again, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos in this sort of series or general TF2 content, then do be sure to subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching, guys. I really do hope you liked this, as I put a lot of hard work into it, and peace.